It is a well-known fact that no nation can thrive and progress with youths who are restive, because the peace, security and corporate existence of that nation will be threatened. According to reports, Nigeria has an estimated population of over 222 million, and the youths occupying the largest population, about 70% of the population, is under 30, and 42% under the age of 15. Now, these numbers should definitely call for concerns. When youths are unoccupied, they become restive, and the impact usually is not pleasant. Now, the causes of youth restiveness are not unconnected to unemployment, lack of basic and inadequate infrastructural facilities, and inadequate social amenities, amongst others. Of course, the federal government is not oblivious of the growing concerns in addressing youth restiveness, as there has been policies put in place to engage youths positively, especially with the prioritization of skills, technology, and vocational education to create more job opportunities for young Nigerians to address skills gaps. That's on one hand. On the other, experts are seeking for more initiatives that will impact the growing number of youths so as to take the young people off the streets to become useful to themselves. But there are also expectations from youths to nation building, especially in the aspect of civic responsibility, which is patriotism and value reorientation, which, if not put into consideration, could lead to youth restiveness. On Weekend File tonight, our focus is addressing the challenges of youth restiveness, and our guests are Comrade Adejorin Tai Manuel. He's the Director of Students Empowerment, NANS Presidency, and Engineer Raman Mogaji, the National Coordinator, World Skills Nigeria. He will be joining us via Zoom from Lagos. We'll also bring you reports from across the country as filed in by our correspondents on what is being done to address the challenges. Thank you for joining us. This is Weekend File. I'm Ruth Aguele. First, let's bring you the news. President Bola Tinubu will address the nation in a broadcast on Sunday, August 4, 2024 at 7 a.m. Television, radio and other electronic media outlets are enjoined to join the network services of the Nigerian Television Authority and the Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria, FRCN, for the broadcast. The broadcast will be repeated on the network services of the NTA and the FRCN at 3 p.m. and 7 p.m. on the same day. Security personnel, we hear, dispersed agitated protesters that converged at the Moshood Abiola Stadium in Abuja on the third day of the nationwide protest. The protesters, mostly youth, who started converging on the stadium early morning, became too agitated and confrontational for the security personnel, who were forced to disperse them with canisters. Earlier, the DCP Operations FCT Command on patrol addressed the protesters, telling them to be law-abiding as security formations are only out to ensure peace.
My name is DCP Isiakusharo. I'm the DC Operations FCT Police Command. So even right from the first day they came here, we've been with them. The only thing that we are asking them, since they insisted that they would not enter the stadium, that this place is part of the premises, we give them the much needed protection, but we told them that they should make sure that the road is clear for the other users.
Meanwhile, security is beefed up at the stadium, while patrol vehicles are moving around the Federal Capital Territory to maintain law and order. And in Lagos, we hear calm and, well, peaceful protesters, though fewer than the first and second day, gathered again at the Freedom Park, or Jota, the designated area for the protest. Hingino John Adams reports that business activities are yet to hit full peak. Let's see that.
It's day 3, and these protesters are back to the Freedom Park in Ojota, where they have been demonstrating since the 1st of August. The presence of security operatives is still visible in a bid to protect the protesters, members of the public, and infrastructure, as well as ensure that peace is maintained. Meanwhile, Lekki Toll Gate, one of the flashpoints for protest, is calm and peaceful with the presence of security personnel to maintain law and order.
It's that at some points, protesters tried to be unruly, but security operatives stood their ground and made sure they fell back in line within the limits approved by the court through the court order.
Normalcy is gradually returning, with more vehicles plying the roads and increased presence of people going about their business activities. In Lagos, Hingino, John Adams, NTA News.
Well, as the nationwide protest enters day 3, stories from states across the country indicate a marked reduction in the number of untoward incidents, as well as reduction in the number of protesters. Let's get the ambience across some states.
So we don't have any other, there's no any other tension.
Thank God it has been relaxed now. We pray that things will get better in our country.
It's my considered opinion that Abia people and by extension Southeasterners are not protesting.
To salute their courage and wisdom for maintaining peace and stability, and also want to urge them to continue along this line. They should continue to be law abiding, and they should go about their lawful business as usual.
Right, the Nigerian police force has cautioned Amnesty International for releasing unconfirmed report alleging that security personnel deliberately deploying tactics designed to kill protesters using firearms. Force Public Relations Officer Olumuyiwa Adejobi, during a briefing, denies the allegation.
The Nigeria police force finds it necessary to refute a recent report publicized by Amnesty International, which claims that 13 individuals have lost their lives due to the protests in Nigeria. In Borno State, 4 individuals lost their lives and 34 were severely injured in a terrorist attack. Additionally, an incident occurred involving an unregistered Honda Prelude car that ran into the protesters, resulting in the death of 2 civilians in Nasarawa State. There was another incident reported in Yauri local government area of Kebbi State, where a group of individuals mobilized to loot a shop. In the process, a local vigilante man shot and killed one of the looters. This brings the total number of deaths recorded during the protest to 7. In an effort to combat the trend of crimes and criminality, the police have arrested a total of 681 individuals who committed various criminal offenses.
The force called on Amnesty International to verify before going ahead to make unsubstantiated reports. In the wake of the nationwide protests, the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps in Kano has apprehended about 108 suspected vandals accused of looting property. Masood Ali reports that the suspects were paraded at the NSCDC state office alongside several items recovered from them.
Among the items recovered were electronic devices, household appliances, and various stolen goods worth millions of naira. Parading the suspects, Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, Kano State Command, emphasized the agency's commitment to maintaining law and order.
We cannot fold our arms and watch bandits wreaking havoc on public utilities. On this note, the court has arrested so far more than 100 suspects.
While reiterating the legitimacy of the peaceful protests, the command condemned the actions of those who took advantage of the situation to commit crimes. NSCDC therefore urged citizens to report any suspicious activities and cooperate with law enforcement agents to ensure the safety and security of the state. In Kano, Masood Aliu, NTA News.
In a significant gesture to alleviate economic hardship of the people in Ikwere local government area of Rivers State, the caretaker committee chairman, Dr. Darlington Orji, has gifted 600 indigents with 100,000 naira each. He has also donated tricycles, buses, and also cars to security agencies in the area. Nkiru Onyejesi reports.
The government program is the first by the caretaker committee chairman of Ikwere Local Government Council, Dr. Darlington Orji, since assumption of office in June 2024. The gesture is aimed at creating a better livelihood for the indigents, boosting economic activities of the community, and equipping the security personnel.
I've come back to work with the security agencies to understand that life is very important. And if as a chief security officer in the local government and your divisional police cannot function very well because of a lack of operational vehicle, then you will suffer it at the end of the day.
Governor Similalaye Fubara, who was represented by the Speaker, Rivers State House of Assembly, Victor Okojombo, notes that his administration is intentional about empowerment for the citizenry and creating an enabling environment for businesses to thrive.
It is for them to see what is happening in Ikwere local government and also to reinforce that instruction that our governor, your governor, has given to the caretaker chairman, which is to go back and empower the people.
If you are empowered today and you cannot sustain it, you don't have any cause to blame anybody.
Each and every one of us on every side of the divide to join hands together so that Ikwere will move forward.
Ikwere women are happy that today they are going to be empowerment in our LGA.
Highlight of the event was the presentation of 100,000 naira check to beneficiaries and the presentation of tricycles, minibuses and operational vehicles to the police divisions and the DSS in the council. In Alo, in Ikwere local government area of Rivers State, Nkiru Onyejesi, NTA News.
From Gombe to traders and other petty businesses in the state, the planned nationwide protest was just to disrupt their businesses and hurt their means of livelihoods. Emmanuel Akila reports that the main market, businesses have returned to full business transactions after 2 days of closure due to the protest.
For Muhammad Yakubu and other traders in Gombe main market, what they thought about the planned protest turned out to be a different thing altogether.
For every right-thinking person, the aftermath of protest is what we are afraid of, which is why it had to stop.
In the Nigerian constitution, it is there. But it depends on how the protest is being handled. You know, wherever you have 12, Judas must be there.
Governor Muhammad Inuaya is interacting with business owners at the Gombe main market.
Democratically, there is right or freedom or guarantee of the constitution for everybody to do any demonstration. And everybody that wants to do so must go and register with the police so that he will be protected and he can protect the properties and lives of all our citizens.
In the build-up to the protest, the government had series of engagements, series of consultations, series of stakeholders meetings and the rest.
Gombe State is fast growing in business as indicated by its rating as #1 in the ease of doing business in Nigeria by the Presidential Enabling Business Environment Council in 2021 and 2022. From the Gombe main market, I am Emmanuel Akila, NTA News.
In other news, Sultan of Sokoto and President General Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs Muhammad Sa'ad Abubakar urges Muslims in Nigeria to start looking for the new moon of Safar 1446 after Hijrah tomorrow. A statement signed by the Chairman Advisory Committee on Religious Affairs, Sultanate Council Sokoto, Professor Sambo Wali Junaidu, says Sunday 4th August 2024 is equivalent to 29th Muharram 1446 after Hijrah. It therefore called on the Muslim Ummah to start looking for the new crescent and report the sighting to the nearest district or village head for onward communication to the Sultan. President Bola Tinubu congratulates Senator Abdulaziz Musa Yaradua on his 60th birthday. The president applauds the younger brother of former President Umaru Musa Yaradua and of former Chief of Staff, Supreme Headquarters, General Shehu Musa Yaradua, for maintaining a family tradition of visionary leadership and praise for his continued good health in serving the nation. Also, President Tinubu extends his warm congratulations to Senator Shuaibu Afolabi Salisu on his 60th birthday. President Tinubu commends Senator Salisu for being a standout voice on important matters in the National Assembly, noting his insightful contributions and dedication to the country's legislative process. In the same vein, President Tinubu congratulates Chief James Onanefe Ibori on his birthday. Chief Ibori, a businessman and politician, was governor of Delta State from 1999 to 2007. The president joins friends, the good people of Delta State, and well-wishers to facilitate with the governor on this occasion. Former President Muhammad Buhari sends birthday wishes to Olufumilayo Mustafa as she clocks 60, together with good wishes for the future on the day she retires as a director in the Federal Civil Service. The former president described her as a strong pillar of the strength for her husband, former SGF boss Gida Mustafa, and wished her continued good health and success in fulfilling the aspirations of her family and the nation. All right, we'll take a break. When we return, we'll begin a conversation on addressing youth restiveness, talking about the challenges. Please stay tuned. Thank you for staying tuned. And just before we delve into the conversation, we'll bring you some reports. Globally, available white-collar jobs are not enough to cater for the teen youth population, and Nigeria is no exception. With this in mind, the 21st century for some time has been an advocate of skills acquisition from the elementary stage. Now, this is because it is through the acquisition of skills that there can be job creation, social and economic development. Our correspondent, Olayinka Ojo, in this report, takes a look at government's efforts in curbing youth restiveness to make them self-reliant and contribute to the country's economic development.
During the National Youth Policy meeting in 2019, it was agreed that a youth in Nigeria is a person between 18 to 29 years. Today, Nigeria can boast of one of the youngest populations in the world, with over 60% of its citizens under the age of 25. Development workers say there's the need to have a change in perception from seeing youths as perpetrators or victims of violence to focusing on the positive roles they can play in preventing conflicts, peace building, as well as contributing to national socio-economic development.
You never know what your tweet or your message is saying to encourage somebody. So that's the whole idea of use social media responsibly and also build positive networks on social media.
We must empower our youths to play constructive, unifying and innovative roles and fully include them in the country's development process.
John Oku, a serving corps member, is an industrial physicist turned entrepreneur. His goal is to impart skills of solar installation, which he learned while at the NYC orientation camp, to more youths.
If I can get fund or capital, to improve on it, like have a shop where I can also sell the materials.
We are putting all hands on deck and all resources available to us to restructure youth investment fund.
Experts say, with government scaling up interventions for youth through the establishment of youth enterprise clusters, restructured youth investment fund, and the Nigerian Youth Academy, the future appears brighter for millions of youths in Nigeria like John Oko, who is not only self-reliant but an employer of labor with marketable skills for export. Olayinka Ojo, NTA News.
Well, social justice and inclusion and the distribution of gains of development, fostering economic opportunities, investing in education and vocational training, as well as youth participation in decision-making processes are necessary tools that can help to secure a better future for the youth and help address marginalization that is often, filled with unrest in the southeast region. Comfort IM reports that these were the recommendations of key players as solution to youth restiveness in the zone.
In a world where the voices of the youth echo with discontent and unrest, a powerful wave of frustration sweeps through the younger generation, demanding to be heard and seen. Stakeholders say dysfunctional education leads to dysfunctionality in every area, which is the basic problem. Apart from high cost of living, the pressing issues provoking youth unrest in the southeast borders on release of leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu.
Also deliberated and resolved to interface with the federal government to secure the release of Nnamdi Kanu.
Meanwhile, the region is about to witness massive economic and energy landscape transformation, as well as job opportunities, with the flag of over 60 billion naira construction of solar PV module assembling plant for Southeast, located in Nkanu West, Enugu State. A federal government capital project aimed at empowering the youth.
Let us set one here again that we give people around here and in this part of the world employment, put food on their table, which is the main thing our president has been hammering.
In Enugu, Comfort IM, NTA News.
All right, let's bring in our guests. We have with us in the studio Comrade Adejuri Tai Manuel. He's the Director of Student Empowerment NANS, that is National Association of Nigerian Students. And joining us via telephone from Lagos is Engineer Rahman Mogaji. He's the Project Manager for Nigeria Vocational and Enterprise Skills Development Management System, World Skills Nigeria. Thank you so much for joining us, Engineer Mogaji.
Thank you for having me.
All right, I'll just quickly begin with you. When you look at youth restiveness, of course, it's been pinned to different factors. But from your perspective and going by the trend we've seen happen, especially for a developing country like Nigeria, what are your thoughts?
Yes, thank you very much for having me once again. Actually, Nigeria as a country is a youthful population, with over 60% of the total population young people between the age of 15 to 35, according to the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics. And this population creates both challenges and opportunities for Nigeria. But if adequately harnessed, it creates more of opportunities. But if not, it creates good challenges. However, governments have been doing several interventions in addressing youth restiveness in the country through different interventions between different ministries and agencies. But there are many little impacts of what we can get from those interventions. And I've come to have a deeper understanding of what are the really challenges that all these government interventions are not giving us the expected impact. The issue is this. We have a systemic dysfunctional country whereby we have a challenge of a system that are not really working per se. And to address this, we have to employ the use of different technology. Technology bring about opportunities where we can use it to address these systemic challenges. And for us to address this effectively, I will recommend the government to also look at a situation whereby when they are engaging in youth empowerment programs. They should leverage on technologies such as blockchain, which can address base systemic dysfunctioning. And in order to achieve this goal, there are a lot of activities that need to be addressed. First, we need to have data of young people. And thank God, the government of the day are really working hard in the area of data capture. We have the issue of the NIN, which I believe at least over 60% of the population is being captured based on this NIN. And this NIN is a veritable vital information for the government to be able to harness this population and to effectively engage them productively. Okay. And to achieve all this, I want to say one thing again, is that through this data, we can also use this data to create what we call skills to enterprise promotion for young people. It's not about giving palliative per se to all these young people, but making them to be productive in whatever things the government wanted to address.
Engineer Mogaji, if I'll come in there, we'll definitely get back to you, but it's good you picked up on the skills aspect, which we've also seen the federal government show rather put prioritization. We have the FG Alert Digital Skill Innovation. We have the 3MTT. We also have the Skill Up Artisans. They're innovative means that has been deployed by the federal government, to support young people to be skilled, to be empowered through skills acquisition. Comrade Taimanuel, how would you say, students, are being engaged to some of these initiatives put up by the federal government? Are they benefiting from it?
Thank you very much for having me. Thanks for the opportunity. Yes, we are benefiting immensely from different schemes via the federal government. For instance, we'll talk about there was a time we had to submit some names of students from across the 36 states of the Federation and the FCT. And the SMEDAN wanted to empower us, and we just concluded the collation of the list, and we know that we expect something big from them. Then apart from that, we have the NEL fund, the educational loan fund. That, based as it were, has various categories. Apart from the loan to pay school fees, there's a section of the loan of the NEL fund loan that has to do with skills acquisition.
Yes.
So this gives a vibrant opportunity for every student who is interested in learning a skill or the other to go for it and learn the skill that it's actually packaged in it. So with that, when you have when you have a skill, I'm not sure you will be idle, and I'm sure your restiveness will be channeled positively. So
and if I'll come in there, Comrade, I know there's also been efforts, to introduce courses for digital skills and also entrepreneurship from the basic level to the tertiary level. Am I correct?
You're very correct.
Okay, are students really engaging themselves, taking advantage of this opportunity?
Thank you very much. Most higher institutions right now have this compulsory course called entrepreneurship.
Okay.
And in some institutions, they do it in their first year, but in most institutions, they do it from year 1 to their final year. And what they do is they engage them in different skills, ranging from baking to as complex as welding and vulcanizing. And when you see all these skills, you don't have them and still remain the same. So even while you're schooling, you see students, going for decoration jobs, for catering jobs, baking and all that, sewing, and all that. So it has actually helped a great deal to bring our students to limelight with the realities on ground, to see that apart from education, you can still actually get 1 or 2 skills before you graduate from your school. So yes.
Okay, Engineer Mogaji, can you hear me? Engineer Mogaji?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Okay, great. Earlier, in your opening remarks, you talked about the importance of skills. Now, there's also the access to information of these skills, especially for the young people, and the role the private sector can play. You are from the private sector, and you've been engaging government through different reforms, to power youth through different skills innovation. What would you say as regard the role of the private sector and how these youths can have access to that information?
Okay, thank you very much once again. The issue of private sector engagement in the skill development ecosystem require a lot of attention from the government. First, I would like to say this. There is need for a centralized database for skill ecosystem, where different key interventions, different stakeholders are embedded, and to ensure that we want to know who is doing what and what impact are you making in the area of skill ecosystem. In the area of training, in the area of the empowerment aspect, what we have developed from our own organization is to develop a systemic approach to skill to enterprise promotion. And to achieve that, it involves both public, private, and civil society engagement. And to do this, there is need for us to have a centralized database based on blockchain, so that there will not be a replication of intervention to the same set of people gaining opportunities for empowerment while others are not gaining. And in order to do this, blockchain technology has bring about opportunities for young people to be empowered. And with that, blockchain as an all, because I focus on blockchain, because blockchain bring about transparency. It brings about corrupt-free system, whereby everybody involved, all key stakeholders that is involved in the training of young people to become productive. The government can know their impact. The government can know who is working and who is not working, and which intervention is working and which intervention is not working. And through that centralized database approach, the government can be able to unleash their more investment in the area of intervention that is working and not giving more priority to those that is not working. For the private sector, we are confident in the system being developed, and they will be able to make more contribution to the skill development ecosystem in Nigeria. And lastly, the youth will see hope in the whole system, that it doesn't matter who you know to be able to acquire skills and be empowered. And with that system, I believe the government really needs to invest more on the blockchain empowerment program, whereby every Nigerian, irrespective of your status, religion, or economic situation, you can have access to that systemic approach to skill development.
Indeed.
In the long run, my advice to the federal government is to ensure that they develop what we call I call it the skill card platform. A skill card platform provides an opportunity for young people. When you have that skill card, the skill card gives you access. It's like an asset for you to acquire skills and be empowered.
Okay, it's
and
good.
With your skill card,
okay.
With your skill card, you can acquire training. And when you acquire this training, in the course of, you have to be productive. It's not about giving individual money. I don't believe in that. What I believe in is create a skill card wallet whereby a digital fund is being
Engineer Mogaji, I'll have to come in there. I like the fact you're putting digital technology at the forefront, but of course, the federal government is moving to establish skills innovation hubs and, of course, entrepreneurship centers across the country. We'll pick up with the conversation. Let's take a break.
Your potential isn't limited by your bank account, where your financial dreams can become reality. That world is here with the Nigerian Consumer Credit Corporation scheme, Credico. Credico is one of President Tinubu's initiatives designed to put the power of consumer credit in the hands of working Nigerians. Here to help you achieve your goals, whether it's providing for your family or expanding your home or business. Visit www.credico.ng today for details. This is the renewed hope.
LifeMate Furniture, kitchen cabinets, wardrobes, and sanitary ware shopping festival starts on the 8th of July. Buy whole house customization and bathroom products and enjoy mega discounts and gifts covering all types of furniture. Visit www.elifemate.com or call 081 2000 6000 for more information. LifeMate, your life mate forever.
Training of all registered artisans, which took place from 29th April to 10th May 2024 across the 109 senatorial districts in Nigeria by the Industrial Training Fund, was an overwhelming success. 25,000 artisans have so far been selected across 10 trade areas out of the 100,000 needed for the first phase of the implementation of the Super Pilot Program. The foundational training of all selected artisans will commence soon in designated and listed skills training centers in the 6 geopolitical zones of the country. Please visit www.super.itf.gov.ng or www.itf.gov.ng or any area office closest to you to check for your name, trade area and training center assigned to you. Super, upskilling Nigeria artisans for super jobs. Dr. Hafiz Oluwatoyin Ogun, Director General, Chief Executive, Industrial Training Fund, announcer.
In a world hungry for goodness, with a splash of golden Terra oil, a mom can transform a frown into a smile. Make a lunch hour a happy hour. Change no thanks into yes please. Provide care when our nearest and dearest needs it most. And resolve family feuds without blowing a whistle. Providing tasty, nourishing family meals is all that matters. The world needs moms, because where there are moms, there is hope, happiness, and love. Golden Terra Oil, or pure love.
Nivea Pearl and Beauty Deodorant. With natural pearl extracts and avocado oils for soft, smooth, and beautiful underarms. The perfect balance of 48-hour protection and care with delicate fragrances. Feel the power of pearls. Nivea Pearl and Beauty for soft, smooth, and beautiful underarms. Try our new Pearl and Beauty Black Pearl for smooth and perfumed underarms.
Relief is coming. More wages, reduced costs. Nigeria's national minimum wage is now 70,000 naira, and it will be reviewed every 3 years. The federal government will commence immediate implementation, and state governments are being encouraged to follow suit. With the presidential CNG initiative, transport costs are coming down. Are you a car owner or a transporter? Visit www.pci.gov.ng to find out how you can benefit from switching to CNG. This is the renewed hope.
Conversation with the youth on governance, mentorship, and development. That is our focus on NTA Tuesday Live, 6th August 2024. Empowering the youth for the future, strategies for impact and sustainability on the table for discussion, plus more. NTA Tuesday Live, incisive and educative as ever. Join us.
Thank you for staying tuned. The conversation is addressing the challenges of youth restiveness. Let's find out how it's faring in Kaduna. Well, for the northern state government for the state government rather, to overcome youth restiveness in that region, experts have suggested an assessment study for skills profiling as the best way. Let's hear from Clement Olorutoba.
In Africa, with a youthful population, despite the demographic potential for productivity and growth among these young people of working age, the government has been up and doing in addressing youth unrest in the northern states, one of which is through skills acquisition.
We've always seen it as a collaborative thing between the government and the private sector. The government can't do it alone. We need to come in, all of us have to be on board to salvage the situation.
Vocational has to be rebuilt so that skills can be built over the time, 1 to 2 years. Solid skills can develop them.
32-year-old Abdullah Ilawa, a welder trained by the National Directorate of Employment, is encouraging graduates to key into the federal government initiative in addressing the challenges caused by youth restiveness in northern states and the country in general. I am excelling in it and working for the big men in Kaduna.
The government is supposed to create a way that soft loans to be given to citizens, people that they have business plan, that they can start doing something.
Stakeholders are of the view that the government and other key players should leverage on youth engagement as a possible way of channeling youth aspirations in other states into productive enterprises. Clement Olorutoba, NT News.
And talking about one way to engage them, of course, harnessing their innovativeness, Comrade Ty Manuel, of course, digital technology, we saw Engineer Mogaji picked up with that. And we know Nigerian youths are very resourceful, taking advantage of the digital revolution, but there is also the gap of digital literacy. Now, what kind of support do you think students can get, to help them harness their potential? We have state universities across the country, so what role can state governments play in that support?
Thank you very much. The state governments are not really doing that much, aside the federal government. And it's been a culture right now that we blame the federal government for everything. And I think the state governments have a lot to do when it comes to the digitalization, the improvement of digital learning, digital technology across the schools. That is one. Then two, I think the government cannot do everything for us. Life abhors vacuum, and we should not overemphasize the values, the essentialities of our value system, because charity begins at home. And when a child has this get rich quick syndrome, all these things, digitals, technology, even education, generally will not matter to them. So I think I would employ everybody in the community, be the parents, the guardians, not even the government this time around, to see how best we can instill some more values. Then, according to what the engineer said, I just want to add in addendum. Now, technology is fine, science is fine, digitalization is fine, but there's something happening right now that we are not taking cognizance of. That is the issue of food scarcity. Now, if we check the statistics right now, majority of our people on the farm, they are the old people and their children. Young adults, youth, they are not ready for agriculture anymore. Why? Because most things that we use for this agriculture is obsolete, is archaic. So I think that is where I will call the attention of the federal government. Although the Minister of Agriculture, Senator Abubakar Yari, is trying, is doing his best. And the last time we were with him, with the President of NANS, Comrade Loke Monofe, he said that 8,000 tractors are coming. And most of the tractors are dedicated, they will be dedicated for the youth, so that agriculture will be more lucrative, more enterprising, and it will be more attractive for youth to participate in. So when this happens, we cannot eat computer. Either we like it or yes, we find we're educated, but we will still have to go to the farm and harness the avalanche of land, the mass that we have that are wasting. So that is actually my take on this.
Yes, and it's not a wrong thing to have student farmers.
Yes.
Okay, so Engineer Mogaji, on a final note, Engineer Mogaji, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, on a final note, we'd like to hear your thoughts. You've talked about investment, and then looking at this investment on a general term, talking about human capital development. What is the way forward, really, as we round off this conversation?
Okay, thank you very much. Actually, on our own part, we are also working on developing the artificial intelligence knowledge center, which will give opportunities for young people to have a digital skill in the area of AI and to leverage on that in the area of the art skill. This initiative will make government to invest less in the art skill development of the young people by leveraging on artificial intelligence. We have been working with some technology companies in the US who have already committed to provide 70% of the total funding of that initiative. If any responsive government, either state or the federal, can provide the necessary counterpart funding, where it can empower and create jobs for young people in the area of using AI to create more jobs and to also solve society challenges. In order to achieve all this, there is need for a concerted effort among all stakeholders to come together and to ensure that this investment, when provided, the major people are being engaged to make use of this solution, whereby so that we can have incubators, incubators that will be providing solutions for different companies, creating employment for female youth, and also to leverage on the issue of how do we put it, the issue of digital technology for enterprise promotion.
Okay.
Creating enterprise ecosystem within the digital sector.
All right, and Engineer Mogaji, I'm afraid we have to leave the conversation there, but of course not the issues, because these are growing concerns. We want to thank you very much for your time. He is Engineer Rahman Mogaji, Project Manager for Nigeria Vocational and Enterprise Skills Development Management System, World Skills Nigeria. Thank you very much. Wish you the best.
Thank you very much.
All right, we'll also like to thank Comrade Adejorin Manuel. He is the Director of Students Empowerment, NANS Presidency, that is National Association of Nigerian Students. Thank you very much for your contribution.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. All right, let's take a break. We'll be back shortly. Please don't go anywhere. All right, and let's quickly get highlights from the world of sports. Our correspondent, Francisca, is already standing by. Francisca, what do you have?
Welcome to Sports Update. Let's begin by telling you that Julian Alfred is the world's fastest woman after she stormed to the women's 100 meters in the time of 10.72 seconds to make history as St. Lucas of a second off a podium in fourth, crossing the line in 10.96 seconds. Nigeria's Rosemary Chukwuma missed out of the final after a disappointing 8th place finish in the semi-finals. In the same vein, there is a shot at redemption for Nigeria's Favour Ofili, who will be running in the women's 200 meters. Having been drawn in the heat 6 on Sunday, the Nigeria record holder will be making her Olympic debut after being left out of competing in the 100 meters. Well, that's a wrap. It's back to Ruth.
Thank you very much, Francisca, for that update. And of course, this is where we call it a night on Weekend File. Thank you for staying tuned. And don't forget the 7 a.m. broadcast by President Bola Tinubu tomorrow morning. I'm Ruth Aguwele. Bye.